All right, welcome back. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is filters and conditional formatting. Every lesson we've gone through so far has been about moving around your sheet, about how to easily calculate cells, input data, but now we're going to focus on if you have just a ton of data that is really difficult to kind of grasp and put together. First, we're going to tackle filters, which can be found under the data ribbon across the top of Excel. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Control, Shift, and L to activate your filters. And you'll know that they have been activated because your header columns will have this little down arrow symbol next to each of them. Filters make it very easy for you to sort data based off of a specific column. You can also hide information that you don't want to see. It'll also allow you to catch some unintended errors, maybe some misspellings, some stuff that you didn't catch. You can also use filters to find information a lot more quickly. You can narrow down some information that you're trying to look for. If you have just a big data set, you can definitely use filters to make it a little bit more manageable, a little bit easier to see. So let's go ahead and we'll hop into a sample Excel sheet that I have here. What we have is a list of several baseball players on several fictitious teams, and as well as their stats here. So to activate the filters here, you just click on the top, click on your headers row, and like we saw in that previous slide, Control, Shift, L, and you can see all these down arrows here. And these down arrows will sort of summarize the information in each of these cells. We can look at different positions that each of these players are playing in. We can sort based off of this information. We can sort based off team from A to Z, and it'll just organize our data so it's a little bit easier to look at that way. We can also find potential errors. If we look at each of these values just at a glance, it makes it a lot easier. You can see right here we have Leavenworth and Leavenworth Lions. So I definitely want to fix this one. Looks like that one was a misspelling. So if I unselect everything, select that one, then I just see that one misspelled word here. We'll go ahead and bring that A in. And then we can go back in here and we can clear that filter out and we can bring everything back. So filters are very handy for, like you just saw, for sorting through information, for finding some potential errors. What you can do if you just want to use the keyboard shortcuts here, like we said, Control Shift L brings up your filters. If you hold Alt and press the up or down arrow, then that brings up the filter menu as well. And you can use your arrow keys to come up in here, use your space bar to unselect things and select certain values, and then press Enter to use those and see those. And again, Alt up arrow, and we can just press the letter C to clear that filter out. All right, and as for conditional formatting, it is very similar to filters. Conditional formatting lives on the Home ribbon across the top of Excel. You can also use Alt, then H, then L as your keyboard shortcut to activate it. You can do a lot of the same things with conditional formatting that you can do with filters. Conditional formatting is a little bit more dynamic than filters, though. As you change your data, as you add new information, remove some old information, conditional formatting does get updated automatically, which means that it does make it a lot more versatile than filters. So let's just go ahead and jump into Excel and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Like we mentioned in the slide, conditional formatting is very similar to filters, but we do have this button right here. So the way that we want to use conditional formatting is I can select any one of these columns here. We'll go with RBIs. If I click on conditional formatting, it gives me some options, some rules that I can enact here on this column of data. So we'll go ahead and highlight any cell that has greater than, we'll say 70, greater than 70 RBIs. And click OK, and you can see that it has highlighted those values. And we can also use conditional formatting with filters. So if I come up here, Alt up arrow, I can filter by color, and I can filter just the pink column, or just the pink values, and that's an easy way that I can find that information. Conditional formatting has one big benefit more than filters, and that is that it is updated dynamically. So we set that conditional formatting rule for this whole column, which means that if I put in a value over 70, so we'll say 74, then that one will get highlighted as well. So it is pretty powerful, and you can have multiple conditional formatting rules on one sheet at a time, just like you can have multiple filters on one sheet active at a time. And if I want to just erase all my rules, I can just come up in here, clear rules from this whole sheet. And that is pretty much it for conditional formatting and filters. Stick around for the next video. The last video, we will talk about just a few settings that you can change in Excel, a few options that you may not have known about that can make your workflow go even faster.